Hey, welcome back everyone, and in this video I'm gonna talk to you about a new book I got, and it's called Articulating Design Decisions. Because when you're starting out, you need to explain your decisions, and especially when it comes to design rationale and why you do what you do. And a lot of us, including myself, and I just started a decade ago, I've just hit so many walls and tried so hard to convey the message and communicate what my design means and how it should be transferred into business values and how it should be translated into the development of actual products or services. And so there was a lot of trial and error, and I just ate a lot of crap because I was way too energetic, way too powerful, not listening enough, or being just way too, almost like aggressive in my language when I tried to portray it. Hey, this is design which you need, which is the best for your problem to solve as a solution. And nobody would listen. And I was always wondering why it's so obvious that this design is so much better than everything else, but nobody would get it, or get it in a different way. And this book is actually an example of how to do it well. Now the book itself is, it's quite simple. You can just pick it up and finish it in one day, because it gives you a framework, just like any other book about UX. It gives you a framework from A to Z of what to follow and what to do in order to be a better communicator for design decisions, and that your designs are feasible, desirable, but also viable for the business. And the steps are really simple. 1, understand. 2, listen. 3 is respond. 4 is follow up. 4 simple steps which you need to follow in any meeting, in any design articulation. Now, it might sound too simplistic, or hey, you don't understand, I'm going through such a big deal. But the reality is that you always communicate in a meeting, be it person to person, where 2 people, or be it to bigger audience. If you follow this framework, you're going to be much better communicator. So let me jump into each of the steps so you understand exactly how to apply in your communication and how you articulate the design decisions, so they're actually impactful and they come to life instead of collecting dust. So step number 1 is understanding. You always need to understand where other people are coming from. It doesn't matter if you're right at the moment or you feel you're right at the moment. You always need to understand what developers are expecting, what's their technical capability, what are the budget expectations, what are the managers coming from. Everybody has their own agenda, and they expect you to communicate with them in a different way. If you can understand where they are coming from, what matters to each of them, you can be 80% there. The remaining 20 is gonna be charisma and just like a flashy demos of whatever, and you're gonna be selling it. But the point is, imagine if you are having a discussion with the development and project managers. Project managers are gonna care if you're on track, if they can deliver it on track, if the estimates are right, if the deadlines are going to be reached in time. Developers are, on the other hand, are going to care how many user stories you came up with, how many features we're going to have to implement, what's the complexity. So the communication to 2 different channels are going to be totally different, but you need to understand where you're coming from. The best way to do so, think about them as a user. Think about them as if you are approaching a project. They're your 2 different user groups, and your communication is a product which you tailor to them. It again comes down to telling the best story, because if you know that their needs are specificity, and managers want a swift update, they don't care about the intricacies of design, why design is better and so forth. Tell them it's good, it's on time, all the things which deliver to the business need and the user need, they're gonna be happy. Meanwhile, if you tell the same thing to developers, they're not gonna care, and what we care about is totally different things, which is tech specificity, feasibility, if they can implement it on time, and all the other bits. The second step is listening. Now, you can understand who your archetypes are, who your user groups are for your product, which is your spoken design, communication design. You need to listen what we say. They can help you shape your design for better. So if you listen to project managers, if you listen to data analysts and data scientists, if you listen to business people like business analysts, maybe project champion, maybe developers, you're gonna get a bigger picture, you're gonna get a holistic design view, because we as designers, we aim to create experiences, not just products, not just UIs, not just a button placements, holistic experiences. If you can involve them and listen to them and understand them, you're gonna be so much further ahead of any other designer, because you're gonna understand a big landscape and then you can shape your design around it. And this is really important, because if you miss this step, it's kind of like missing a user research. You're gonna just, blindly go somewhere and you're gonna guesstimate everything and you'll guess on different ideas, and chances are it's not gonna stick. So you must listen. Now, once you understand who your users are for this communication and understand what their needs are, then you can come up with some sort of solution. An example could be that simply you have your design which you proposed. Now you found out something new from developers that we cannot make it like this. You respond with something else saying, okay, well, you cannot implement this right now. Can we put it to a next sprint? A message for project manager, because that's what we care about. For developers, you can say, can we implement something right now so it's gonna kickstart that production line, and then in the next sprint we're gonna implement it easier. Simple as that, because you listen to their needs, you know exactly where they're coming from. You can compromise and you can communicate better, and that's what you're gonna care about. And last step is follow-up. After every meeting, after every communication, imagine that it was successful, you need to send a message and say, these are the things we discussed. These are the next steps. These are the action points for me and yourself. This is what we agreed on. One is going to provide you with an audit trail which you can refer to back and in the future if someone is not following what you agreed on. And two, they know that you're aligned and these are the things for all the project team to go with. So you can worry about other things than communication with a designer, about the features, about the specs, about feasibility, desirability, viability of a product. We don't have to care about that feature anymore, so you can move on and do something else. And this is actually a way to solve any problem in life. This is pure design thinking. You need to understand who your users are, you need to listen to their needs, to their goals, to their expectations. Build something better by compromising. You are a designer with superb skills for UIs, for crafting different experiences, but now you need to apply it to something. And to apply it to something, you need to know the material you're working with. I hope it's useful for you, because if I would know that this book existed back in the day when I just started like a decade ago, I would have loved it. I went through so much crap just trying to figure out, a model I could apply to any communication strategy. So I really recommend to pick up, even if you're an experienced designer. And of course, the book has so much more. I just wanted to share you one key takeaway, which is the key model of how to do so. As usual, pick up the book, leave a comment down below, give a like, subscribe to this channel, and stay tuned for more material. I'll see you next time.